Retail PD presents Movie Talk Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Too Sweet Movie Show. It's Thursday, the 16th of August. So, yeah, as usual, we're going to start off with the new movies releasing today. So, we've got The Meg out today, which looks really exciting. I mean, I saw the preview lots of times when I went to the movies, and apparently, yeah, a fair bunch of people are interested in it, so I guess that's good to hear. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it because I do like Jason Statham. As always, he's a great actor. So yeah, here we got The Meg. So, the most feared predator in history is no longer history. So it's out today, and it's from the director Jon Turteltaub. Now, he's made a couple of things. He actually, let me just see. He's actually a well-known director. Like, he directed some underrated classics. And the thing is, I haven't really heard about him, but when I went to see Mission Impossible, I'm pretty sure, there was a trailer for The Meg. And, you know, it's one of those action, sci-fi, thriller things. It will be, you know, a bit over the top maybe, but that's what they were going for, I think. Which isn't a bad thing either. So yeah, Jon Turteltaub, he directed this film, and he has done a number of things like, so yeah, The Meg is his most recent thing, but he worked on one episode of the series Rush Hour on Channel 7, or he directed Last Vegas, I should say. And yeah, I actually did see it, and I thought it was quite funny, actually. I mean, I had some pretty funny people in it, like Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, Morgan Freeman, even Red Foo. So, you know, that's always funny to see that cast. And if you weren't familiar with that film, it was in 2013. So I don't think he's worked on a feature film for about 5 years. Which is pretty unbelievable, I mean. So yeah, it took him a while to get The Meg. And he's gone from a comedy drama to one of those action blockbuster types. So it's quite interesting how he's changed a bit in that way. So yeah, that film was about like four friends. They take a break from their day-to-day lives to throw a bachelor party in Las Vegas for their last remaining single pal. So, you know, I mean, you know, it's always great because it's got Michael Douglas. I mean, to start off with him, we saw him in Ant-Man and the Wasp just a month ago, and over a month, maybe getting on 2 months now, nearly. But yeah, and he was really good in that. I thought, you know, he didn't have much to do, but he played his part well. And then even you've got The Senator. He was in that with Kiefer Sutherland, I'm pretty sure. And that's probably one of his best roles, or the Game, which was this dramatic, like, mystery thriller. And that was also quite interesting. It's been on TV quite a number of times. I've seen it, and yeah. And I mean, Robert De Niro, I don't think he ever makes bad films. I mean, every film he makes, he acts good in it. He acts pretty good in it, so you can't really fault him. I mean, the thing is that he's worked on lots of things. Like, what would be the last time we saw him in the cinema? I mean, he was in The Comedian in 2016. But yeah, that's probably one of the last things we've seen him. I don't think he's really been on the big screen for about maybe 2 years. He's worked on TV movies. He's worked on Saturday Night Live. And he's uncredited, so... I mean, 2015 and 2016 were big years for him. I mean, he worked on The Intern with Anne Hathaway. He worked on Heist with... Was it the guy from Bosch or Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Yep, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and even Dave Bautista was in that one. And even, he worked on Joy with Jennifer Lawrence and even Bradley Cooper. And we'll be seeing him soon in The Star Is Born, which is releasing soon, I've heard. I saw the preview the other day. And some other things, I mean, he's been in Dirty Grandpa. It was alright, but I don't really remember it. I may have seen bits of it, but I don't think I ever saw a full film. So yeah, I might rewatch it, not really sure. But if it's Robert De Niro, you can't really fault it. It won't be that much of a bad film, but his acting could be good, but the story could be rubbish and lots of other things too. I mean, you've also got Zac Efron, so he was funny in Baywatch. I know lots of people didn't like it, but he was actually pretty good in Baywatch. So yeah, Morgan Freeman, I mean, we haven't seen him since Just Getting Started. Or if you wanted to see him in the cinemas, you wouldn't have seen him since Going in Style, which is out like over a year ago or something. And that was actually, it was decent. But Just Getting Started, I think that was going to be a cinematic release in Australia. But then they just, cancelled it or something. The Ron Shelton directed that one with Tommy Lee Jones and Rene Russo. And it wasn't that popular with critics, and I don't think the audience liked it either. So yeah, getting on to the Meg, I mean, he even directed Common Law, John Turturro, and his name isn't John, his name's John, like Jon, so it's an interesting fact too. I mean, I saw him probably in the cinema when I saw The Scorcher's Apprentice in 2010 with Nicolas Cage. Or he directed the first two National Treasures. So, it would be interesting to see how he takes the Meg. And he even directed that comedy about the Jamaican bobsleigh team, the Cool Runnings, which I've seen a couple of times, which actually has its moments. It's quite funny at times. So yeah, who's in this big film? I mean, you've got Jason Statham, him himself. I mean, this guy is just, he's a legend. I mean, how many movies has he been in, this guy? I mean, he's been in some great films. Like, I mean, just bring them up now. Like, The Fate of the Furious, he was funny in that, and he had great moments, and even The Mechanic, the two Mechanic movies. He totally blew up the first Mechanic movie. And, even Spy, which is very funny. I mean, F. Gary Gray in Fate of the Furious about all the importance of family and everything. And The Mechanic was just one of those action thriller type things. Even Tommy Lee Jones was in the second one, Mechanic Resurrection. I think, was it called Mechanic Resurrection? Yeah, it was. And Revenge is a Dangerous Business. And yeah, that also started Jessica Alba and even Michelle Yeoh. And even Spy, he was great in Spy. I mean, it wasn't really expected to be that good, but actually It was actually decent. I mean, Paul Feig, the director of Bridesmaids, he created a quite funny spy comedy. And I mean, yeah, I saw The Spy Who Dumped Me as well, but revisiting Spy, I wouldn't mind too. I mean, I saw it quite a while ago, but I wouldn't mind revisiting it because it was actually a decent movie. And even, he's been in Fast and Furious 7, he's been in The Expendables 3, or Expendables 1, 2, and 3. He was in all three of those, and, he brought it in there too. He had his moments, even all these films like Homefront with James Franco, Wildcard, Parker with Jennifer Lopez, Hummingbird, Safe, where he protects that Chinese girl, Killer Elite, which was a massive cast too, with Robert De Niro and Clive Owen, I'm pretty sure. And, he was even in Romeo and Juliet. He had a good voice casting in that. And even those three Transporter series, three Transporters, he totally bring those. I mean, he's just a bit of a good actor, this guy. And, who else is here? Well, you got Bing Lee, the Chinese actress. Now, if you're not really familiar with a Chinese movie, Guardians of the Tomb, but that actually had Shane Jacobson as well, so it was Chinese and Australian production, but I don't think many people would have seen it, so. But if you didn't see her in that, well then you would have saw her in Transformers Age of Extinction. I know lots of people really didn't like it, but I mean, it's good entertainment. It's good fun. It's good entertainment. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, he just brings it. He's great. He's a great actor and a great person. I really admire him, actually. I mean, just a great guy. And even Ruby Rose is in this film. I mean, you saw her in Triple X and a Cage. You saw her in John Wick. You even saw her in the film, I think Resident Evil or something. She was there too. And Cliff Curtis is in here too. I mean, the New Zealand actor, known for Whale Rider and 6 Days, 7 Nights. And who wrote this film? Well, we've got three people on the script: Dean Georgiou, John Hober, Eric Hober. So yeah, Dean Georgiou has made one film, The Meg. And John Hober, he actually wrote Red 2. And he even wrote Man on a Ledge, Battleship, and the first Red. Some quite interesting stuff here. I mean, Red 2, I mean, how many times do they put it on TV? It's a bit crazy the times they repeat it, but, it's a Bruce Willis. He's a good entertainer, and the best never rest. I mean, I saw this at the cinema, I think, a while ago or something. Oh, no, in 2013. Yeah, too many years ago it was. But, it's a great film. I mean, you got Dean Parasot who directed it, and he directed Red 2, and he has television credits for Monk and Curb Your Enthusiasm. So he's a fine director. I mean, he's a fine director. And it's good entertainment, and I do really like it, Red 2. I have revisited a couple of times. And even so, yeah, he wrote Man on a Ledge as well. I mean, that's got Sam Worthington, Elizabeth Banks, Ed Harris, even Anthony Mackie. And, Battleship, the one with Liam Neeson. And even Rihanna, he wrote that too. And Jesse Plemons is also in there. I mean, yeah, he wrote the first Red. Red's a pretty cool movie. Two cool movies they made, Red and Red 2. They're both cool and they're both good in their own way, I guess you can say. So yeah. The Meg's expected to be, a big hit. I mean, it'll certainly get some money. I mean, by some good, decent entertainment. Wouldn't mind checking it out. So that's The Meg. Another film you've got out this week is Submergence. Now, I also saw this preview when I went to Mission Impossible. This film, Submergence, Love Has No Limits. So, this story is a wild love affair between two people near the resort town of Dieppe on France's northern coast, and they fall rapidly and unexpectedly into each other's arms, even though their jobs are destined to separate them. So, hearing that could be some interesting mystery type of film. Interesting romantic thriller type of thing. So, Wim Wenders has directed it. Wim Wenders, he directed The Salt of the Earth. And yeah, I haven't really heard much about this guy, so don't really know much about him. I mean, Submergence could be good or could be a bit of a disappointment. I'm not saying anything because I haven't seen it, but it stars James McAvoy and Alicia Vikander. Now, let's go to Alicia Vikander. I mean, we saw her in Tomb Raider earlier this year. And she was decent enough in it. I mean, it wasn't like it was bad. It was the Raw Tag. It's his first Hollywood film. And he went to Hollywood in a, fine fashion, but I guess some things are missing in that one. But, Tulip Fever. I think that was a hit. And that was her too. And then you've got James McAvoy. I mean, what have you seen him in this year? Sherlock Gnomes. And even, he was in Atomic Blonde last year. X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Days of Future Past. So, he's been in a number of things as well. So, got a good cast, but that doesn't always mean that it'll be a good movie. Things happen. It depends on lots of things. So there's Submergence that is in limited release, I'm pretty sure. So because it took a while to get to Australia, actually. It was released in America last year. So it could be a year ago or a year and a half ago, released in America and the UK. So yeah, it's pretty stupid that it got released now. But things happen, you can't do anything about it. Okay, so the other film I want to talk to you about is Black Klansman. Now that's out today. Infiltrate Hate. Now it's about an African American police officer from Colorado, and he teams up with a white counterpart in an audacious double act to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. So this one's directed by Spike Lee. Now Spike Lee is an interesting director. He's made some interesting things over the years, like I mean, he directed Chirac and even Inside Man. So yeah, Inside Man, the one with Denzel Washington and Christopher Plummer. Even Chiwetel Ejiofor, the bank thriller. It looked like the perfect bank robbery, but you can't judge a crime by its cover. By its cover. Even that film, I mean, it was about a Greek play, and Samuel Jackson, Wesley Snipes, Angela Bassett, Dave Chappelle, John Cusack, Chirac, 2015. So yeah, will be interesting to see Black Klansman, to see what happens. I mean, so who's in here? You've got John David Washington, Adam Driver, Topher Grace, and it. So John David Washington, pretty sure he's not really known for some stuff. But this one's based on a true story. So I think could be one of his first movies. Always interesting to see how people debut on screen. But Adam Driver,
So what movies are you watching lately, mate? Oh, you're still recording, right?
Oh no, so I was going to speak about Adam Driver now. So the film Black Klansman, I mean, it's about the Ku Klux Klan. And Adam Driver, he's been in a couple of things recently. I mean, last year he was in the film The Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now that film was quite popular. But, audiences, mixed responses. I mean, lots of people didn't like it because it was really long and boring for some. But other sci-fi nerds really liked it. So it was a mixed response from people. But it has a great cast. I mean, you got John Boyega, who we saw in Detroit. And he's a great actor too. But even the film Logan Lucky, which also starred Daniel Craig, and not just Daniel Craig, but there was also Channing Tatum in that one. So he's a great actor in it actually. He's great in that one. I mean, even you've got, he's been in Star Wars The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Force Awakens. And it's pretty decent. I saw the trailer when I saw what was that film? I think it was Beirut or something. Now, yeah, Beirut. Now, it was pretty interesting to see that he's back. I mean, he's a great actor, and I do like him. I do like him a lot, Adam Driver. But the thing is, I mean, I have seen him in a couple of things, but we might have not seen his best performance just yet. He has a lot of things to show. Yeah. So, you've also got Topher Grace. I mean, how did he start off? Well, I mean, what's his big adaptations? I mean, War Machine. I think that was a digital release. American Ultra. I think some people really liked it. the one with Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. That one was good because they teamed up after Adventureland. And Interstellar could be one of his best performances, by Christopher Nolan. And even The Big Wedding, I mean, that had a massive cast, but, it was a bit of a flop in the critics' eyes. But, it was an all-star comedy based on it was a remake of a French film. And, I had Diane Keaton, Susan Sarandon, Robert De Niro, Amanda Seyfried, Katherine Heigl, Robin Williams, and Topher Grace. I mean, I did think it was alright, but certainly wasn't his best performance, Topher Grace. But I'm hoping when I see Black Klansman, it's going to be, a story which will be quite interesting to lots of people, due to it being a true story, and an unbelievable true story of that. Okay, so the other film I wanted to talk to you about was The Darkest Minds. Now, this film's also out. This is for the people who really like those teen films, those teen adaptation type things, the young adult fiction. Pretty sure it's based on a book. Yep, and these movies are getting really popular. We've seen The Hunger Games with Jennifer Lawrence. We have seen Divergent with Shailene Woodley. We have seen The Maze Runner with Dylan O'Brien. I mean, there's so many films which are being adapted by books. Like book adaptations. I mean, lots of things are happening, right? But The Darkest Minds, I don't think I'm really interested. I mean, it's got that girl from Everything. I didn't see it, but apparently lots of people did like it. And this director, Jennifer Yu Nelson, she directed Kung Fu Panda 2 and Kung Fu Panda 3. So to come from two Kung Fu Panda cartoon films into an M-rated young adult fiction movie, that's quite a transition. And this film, it's about a disease. It kills the majority of Americans' children, and then surviving 2% develop superpowers and are placed in camps. And a 16-year-old girl escapes the camp and joins a group of other teams on the run from the government. So this doesn't seem original. This seems something like the Fifth Wave, or something like the Maze Runner mixed in. It's just the Maze Runner, the Fifth Wave, the Hunger Games, Divergent, all mixed in a blender together. I mean, I don't think it will be that good. I mean, the trailer was not really that interesting, to be honest, when I saw it. And I don't think there's much buzz around it. Like, I know probably teens who go with their friends on the weekend or something. That's the usual thing they'll do, because they're really interested. And, yeah, but, I mean, take it or leave it. Not really that interested in that one. I might pass. I mean, no, thank you. Okay, so let's go on to the Indian Independence Day movies, which have came out. So we've got Gold, which is about Akshay Kumar and director Reema Khagti. She has... No, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, so I'm going to say that they directed Talash. And Talash was with Amir Khan and everything, but they haven't done a film since then. Now, this film's also got Moni Roy and Akshay Kumar, so, I mean, Akshay Kumar, he's a great actor. I mean, you saw him earlier this year in Padman with Sonam Kapoor, or Toilet Ek Prem Katha, or Naam Shabana, or Houseful 3 with Jacqueline Fernandez. I mean, this guy, he's done so many good films. This actor, even, Namaste London, one of his classic ones. This guy, he's just a great actor, and, I think he's probably a great person as well in real life. He's just a nice guy. But this film's one of those films which, it really blends in with the Independence Day release. Because it's about a hockey team, and it's the country's first post-Independence Day gold medal. And it's a true story, and it's a Bollywood sports drama. So, it's just great to see it. It's great to see an amazing movie based on a true story. So it's basically a biopic. I mean, you could say that. Akshay Kumar, I just love him. He's such a good person. I really respect him. So yeah, there's Gold, and the other film I want to talk to you about is Satyameva Jayate. They both released yesterday, and this one's directed by Milas Zafri, and it stars John Abraham. He's a cop, and what he needs to do is track down the man behind a string of police murders in the city. So he tracks them down. He's got to get them. And this one's also written by Milap Zafri. Now, this film is also a great Independence Day flick because it has good dialogues. It has amazing dialogues about, India and everything. And some, just, Bollywood. They're just it's an entertainment film. I mean, if you're not familiar with Satyameva Jayate, it has a big cast. I mean, it's a thriller, it's a mystery. You've got even Nora Fateh, but she's only in one song, and she sings Dilba, which is a pretty amazing song. It's all over YouTube. So this one, it's about two lakh policemen in Mumbai, and they're tasked with the safety of this enormous city, and a majority of them don't necessarily have the cleanest of vadis. But when 4 such police inspectors are burnt alive in merciful killings, the entire police force is rocked with terror. The media's looking for answers. The public is on the fence over these killings. These crimes reflect upon Veer, a bold, calculated, and unapologetic vigilante. So reading that right then, the media is looking for answers. That sort of reminds me of Bruce Willis's Death Wish. I don't know, how they just combine podcast hosts and everything into it? If you saw it, but I know this type of film. I know what it's going to be. Vigilante film. And you've even got Manoj Baipaji, and he was in Ayar earlier this year. He does some successful acting. He's a good actor, this guy. And it's one of those masala films. I mean, got action scenes all over, just action-packed entertainment, really. I mean, that cast is massive. You've got even the music. You got action directors Amin Khatib, Ravi Verma, I mean, Ravi Verma, he worked on action with Rays, with Shah Rukh Khan. Rays. But actually, sorry, I made a mistake. He worked on Rays, the TV show with Raj Arjun. And Amin Khatib, he worked on the stunts of Firangi and action on Lucknow Central. Still, I think it looks pretty amazing when you see the trailer on screen. Looks pretty good. And I mean, you've still got On Cheezel Beach, which is still out. You've got The Spy Who Dumped Me now. Yeah, I guess I can review that one because I saw it like 2 or 3 days ago or something. And yeah, you know, it's wasn't expecting much actually. You know, I wasn't expecting much in there, but due to the trailer, I mean, the trailer wasn't that good, to be honest, but you know, the movie actually paid off in some ways. I mean, the movie had some decent things, and it did remind me of Spy. It reminded me of Bullfig Spy. You know, it reminded me of some other action films. I mean, the action was intense at times. Not intense, but they actually made it like action-packed, like it was in your face. I mean, it wasn't like comical violence. They made it like they did put some thing into it, which made it, you know, a bit, you know, it made it more not as light-hearted. And that was a good idea because it worked. I mean, you know, if you're not familiar with the plot of it, it's about Audrey and Morgan. They're two 30-year-old best friends in Los Angeles. And they are unexpectedly, they get into an international conspiracy. When, you know, Audrey's ex-boyfriend, he shows up at the apartment. And then there's a team of deadly assassins on the trail. But surprisingly, I mean, the duo jump into action. I mean, they have to go on the run throughout Europe from assassins and a suspicious but good-looking British agent. So then after that, you know, they have to hatch a plan to save the world. And it's all a film about international conspiracies. You know, let's go to the actors. I mean, Justin Theroux is in here. And he's Jennifer Aniston's ex. He played Drew. Now, Drew was Mila Kunis's boyfriend. Now, you know, Drew, he actually did a good job. You know, in the start, it starts off with him just running. And you know that's how the film starts. He's running, you know, from assassins and everything. He's running everything, but, you know, Mila Kunis, I mean, it was good to see her. I thought, you know, Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon, they worked. They were both playing dumb characters. And, you know, they were dumb at times, but I know Kate McKinnon was more dumb. Mila Kunis knew what she was doing a lot of the time. But that's who the character she was playing, I mean. That's not itself. At times it could be. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen her since November last year in Bad Mums, so it was good to see her again. And she did pull it off. And Kate McKinnon was stupid at times, may have got a bit annoying, but she was good. And Sam Hugan. No, I haven't even seen any of Outlander, but I heard it's coming to SBS. Apparently that's one of his most popular things. But Sam Hugan, I mean, he pulls it off. I mean, he plays a good, intelligent agent working for CIA and everything. So he plays a good character. I mean, yeah. So didn't mind him too. And his partner, so he plays Sebastian, and his partner Duffer, Hassan Minhaj. He wasn't too bad either. I mean, I liked his screen presence. I haven't really seen him in much. He was apparently in Rough Night, but I don't think I saw that, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, he wasn't bad in The Spy Who Dumped Me. He wasn't bad at all. I mean, if I, thinking about what some good elements. I mean, the action was pretty terrific. I mean, there's a scene where they're climbing like a tightrope. Something, and the cinematography, you can thank the cinematography for that work, because that was all their job. They pulled that off. So I guess you can say thank you to them. And even, I mean, as I said, the action. At times it did look realistic, I guess you could say. But yeah, I thought they just worked together, I mean. And if you want to see Mila Kunis just kicking ass, well then this is a movie you want to watch. She pulls it off in comedy. I mean, she's a funny lady, she is. She's a funny person. We've seen her in Ted. She's funny in Ted as well. I guess you can say that it's a bit intelligent. And at the end you're thinking, oh, there will be a sequel. It's one of those films which has to have a sequel. And I can agree on that. I mean, I do like Mila Kunis, so I've never said, oh, she's not really that good, But there is a good storyline, and it is interesting, but, it's stupid at times, but at times it wasn't that unpredictable. I mean, at times I thought, oh, I didn't see that coming. I mean, it's a likable spy comedy. It's funny, it's charming, it's even sexy. I mean, it has a good pace. And there's plot twists as well, which you don't see coming. It's espionage. There's good guys, bad guys, and super weapons. It was just quite good. I mean, he's convincing, Sam Hugan. No, this film was good entertainment. I mean, I guess you can say it's sort of female James Bond. Well, that's what they were portraying in the previews, but it was quite different actually. But it does work as a good time pass. I mean, it's a good, interesting film. I'll probably give it. I mean, it's funnier than I expected. I can definitely agree. I mean, I thought when I came into it, I thought, I'll just be having a good laugh or something. Not really that excellent. But I mean, I thought it delivers on its premise. It's making it more fun than it sounds. I mean, it's highly entertaining. And, the action is all superb. And even the places, I mean, you talk about the locations, they go all over Europe. It's quite amazing to see that too. They're just really funny people. And it all works. And you love those buddy comedies. It's good female buddy comedy. I mean, I think we saw Hot Pursuit with Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara. Oh, this was obviously better than that. I mean, I don't think that was up to scratch. It does remind you about Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz's Night and Day. But it obviously wasn't the best, but it was good though. I mean, you do have a good time with it, and you should stay because there's a blooper reel on the end credits. So probably just making my final decision on it. I'd say probably 7.5 out of 10. Yep. So now I talked about Superfly. Remember I told you it's not really that popular at the moment. Sort of gone down. Limited release type thing. So yeah, let's go on to Mission Impossible Fallout, because that film was really done well. I mean, when I saw it like 2 days ago, and this film was just spot on, excellent. I mean, everything was just nailed. I mean, they've nailed everything. Paramount Pictures. They made a quite amazing film. I mean, all about Ethan Hunt and everything. And it's a film about the IMF team. And they race against time after a mission has gone wrong. So it's about plutonium. And what they've got to do is stop plutonium from erupting in the world. So I guess it's a quite interesting plot, and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. He directed Rogue Nation, which was the last Mission Impossible film in 2015. He even directed Jack Reacher, which also starred Tom Cruise and even Jai Courtney. And in this one, you've got Tom Cruise. He returns as Ethan Hunt. And to say, this film impressed me, alright? So this film impressed me in how good it was. I mean, I saw The Spy Who Dumped Me. I thought, that was good. But then, this film came along. And I can tell you, it's one of the finest films. I mean, you can say that Mission Impossible is an amazing film series. I think it started in 2000 or 2001. And it just keeps getting better with each installment. Fallout has just crossed the bar, people. I mean, it has slick action. It's got him on a motorbike. It's got him in a helicopter. It's got him hanging off things. It's got him jumping into walls, jumping out of windows. I mean, this is Fallout, people. And it has riveting stunts. And lots of the stunts Tom Cruise does himself. And, if you think about it, if it was some other film and it was the sixth film, people would be like, what? I'm tired of this. Like, what? It's the same thing over and over and over. But with Mission Impossible, it gets better every time. I think that this film has topped all the other Mission Impossible films. I mean, yeah, the first one was really good. But the sixth one could just be a tid better. I mean, this has refreshing material. This has material which you haven't seen before. They deliver some amazing shots, like Tom Cruise jumping out of like this plane, and he just like jumps out of it. It was just amazing to see it. And it makes the crowd like in thrills. It makes them thrilled. And it's engaging set pieces. I mean, even I forgot to mention that bathroom fight, mate, you see in the trailer. That is amazing on the big screen. I mean, some people were laughing, so they thought it was actually funny. And from the fast-paced car chases in London to the blinding shootouts in the canals, even the foot races on the building tops, and even the helicopter along the snow-capped mountains in Kashmir. This film is well choreographed, shot and edited well. It's smart. Like, your eyes never go elsewhere. Your eyes are always on the screen. You always want to see what is happening next. It makes it out exactly what was happening on the screen, and it makes you invested throughout. And the story, the story is, it's pretty standard, but it works. It has twists and turns, and it's not really rehashed. And it's interesting to see that Ethan's wife returns to the screen, Michelle Monaghan. It was interesting to see her back. It really was, because we saw her in Mission Impossible 3. And that film was also pretty decent. That was directed by J.J. Abrams. And, it brings it to a satisfying conclusion. It is an edge-of-your-seat action thriller. It never disappoints. It absolutely doesn't. Mate, it can be funny too. You laugh at times. And, you know, this film, it's like 2 hours, 20 minutes or something. Could be 2 hours, 40 minutes maybe. You know, this was just amazing. They pulled it off. They really did. And you know, mate, it's just stunning action sequences, decent story, and great performances and impressive stunt work. It will be the best Mission Impossible yet, but it will probably be another one, people. I mean, Tom Cruise, he's just one of the biggest action stars on the planet. This is what he does. This is what he loves. I mean, you've even got Henry Cavill, Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill battle it out. I mean, they work together, but they also fight well together. I mean, they fight together, all the baddies and everything. Henry Cavill, his mustache is very interesting to see on screen. He's a great character, and he has changed since The Cold Light of Day. He has changed since Man of Steel. Even Ving Rhames, I mean, he's decent too. Simon Pegg, he is quite funny at times, but he has serious moments as well. Rebecca Ferguson, great to see her back. Sean Harris, he's alright. Angela Bassett, Alec Baldwin, they do fine performances, and you know, his direction of this film was fantastic. Christopher McQuarrie. I mean, it could be the greatest spy action movie ever. Mate, he drives through a helicopter and the chopper crashes. You know, climbing the wall on a mountain. Like rock climbing a mountain. That's what he did in Mission Impossible 2 with Thandie Newton. And it was also filmed in Sydney. I mean, this film. What else to say about this film? There are many things. The directing done well. The writing done well. The stars. Well, the stars. They come out and do their thing. The whole team was shot well. But the music is also a highlight. The music grips you through this film. I mean, this guy, he wrote Lorne Bell. I'm not sure if it's a guy or girl, but they worked on big films like Pacific Rim Uprising, 12 Strong. Did the music for those, even Geostorm. So I can tell why I did like those films. Pacific Rim Uprising, mixed. But it was good to see that they got a good person to do the music. And Rob Hardy, kudos to Rob Hardy for giving us unbelievable cinematography in some of the hottest locations. I mean, they go everywhere in this film. I'm pretty sure they went to Abu Dhabi as well. I mean, you know, just like Race 3, they shot it in amazing locations. They really did. So, you know, he did DOP for Annihilation, which was cancelled by Paramount, so we never got to see it in theatres. But it went straight to Netflix, I heard. I mean, the editing by Eddie Hamilton, that's a whole nother level. I mean, he does some great editing on this. He edited Kingsman: The Golden Circle, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, Kick-Ass 2. And those were all fine films. They were all films which were done well, and they were shot well and edited well and everything. Mate, lots of people will be in this film. I mean, this film's massive. To the sound department, to the special effects, to the production team, to the stunt teams. I mean, To the camera and electrical department, we thank you. I mean, we thank you for giving us a great film. If it wasn't for you, this film would have not happened. I mean, you got the massive location management. You've got the editorial department. You have the music department. These are all transportation department. And all the people to say thanks to. I was very impressed by this movie. Did not disappoint. It's a blockbuster, it's a thriller, it's an action adventure. It's even a mystery. It has everything you want. It has everything you need. It will never disappoint you. It really is worth a mention. I suggest you to check out the first 6 Mission Impossibles, the first 5, and then go and see Fallout, because especially watch the third one, because that sort of gives you an insight to Michelle Monaghan's character. And then, you'll go, oh, I saw that in the third one, so it'll make sense more, and it'll make you appreciate Fallout more, which is always a great thing. And also Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. You should also check out that one, because that one's quite amazing as well. So I think I've done a full show here, and what I should say is, Mission Impossible, you should definitely check out Mission Impossible. It's an amazing series, and I'll be back next week, hopefully with the Meg review or the Black Klansman review, or even a Satyamev Jayate review with Johnny Abraham. Okay, I'll see you next week, people. I'll see you next week. See ya.